Hi busy hands, welcome to lesson 3 of our simplified quilted pot mat. So what we have here now is a piece of 4 pieces of squares that have been quilted all together, and you can see that these 1/4 inch seams are now very nicely stitched together and very nicely opened. So what you have to do next now is to take your batting, this soft little cotton-like thing, and you place your pieced up patchwork over the batting, and the next one would be your backing fabric. It can be on either side depending on which side you prefer, because it's white anyway. And then you put this over, and don't worry if you find that the 2 bottom pieces are slightly thicker than slightly bigger than the patchwork that you've just done. And what you should actually be doing now is you have a needle and put in a knot, and we're going to very roughly do a tacking. We tack the 3 pieces together like so. So alternatively, for those of you who do not have the packages with you which I sent out, and you do not have your batting to use for the pot mat, I would recommend that you use my old t-shirts, and I have cut out actually to almost the same size, giving it a little bit of an allowance. And there are about, I would prefer to have about 4 pieces here. So this will be the alternative way if you don't have the batting. And then we place that on top of our white piece of material once again, and we will continue to tack as we would like just now. Okay, so just to highlight, because I don't want this video to be a very confusing one, those of you who do not have the actual batting and are using the t-shirt materials as your batting, I will do this, I will continue this video towards the end, and I'll tell you what to do. So for now, we will just focus on those who do have the batting and can do the quilted patch mat now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to now go into the binding. So this is the binding. Always move away, begin by moving away from the corners, because corners are always the most tricky. Open up your binding. The binding has actually 4 sections, there you go. And you just have to now focus on this first section here. And what you do is you make a good fold first, alright, and then you place this little fold here, and you start again doing your running stitches here. In this instance, I would recommend that you do smaller running stitches to keep them really nice and secure, nice and tight. And then you're going to go through all the way down to the corner. So I will sew it right to almost the end, but not to the end, right to where I think the 1/4 inch is. There you go. That's about the 1/4 inch. Alright. And this one here will be my last stitch. And I'm going to stitch it back one more time to secure the corner in place again. So I'm going to do a back stitch. I go backwards. Right? And then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to fold this to 45 degrees, and then I'm going to make 90 degrees at the top. And then from behind here, I'm going to start stitching again. So there you have it, a 45 degree first, and then a 90 degree, and I stitch from behind right through here, came out here, and now I'm going to stitch it one more time. So I'm just now going to continue with the running stitches. When you have the batting, it tends to be a little bit more difficult, so be patient. Let's just do one stitch at a time. So this is roughly how it looks like. Folded, running stitch all the way to the end, a 1/4 inch from the end. I fold 45 degrees inside, and I fold a 90 degrees, so this is what I get. And then I continue from this stitch, and I'm going to do a running stitch all the way down. Okay, so now I've actually paused the video a little while, and now we'll continue. So what has happened is we have already sewn this all out nicely, and you can see that the 45 degrees has created a really nice corner there, the 4 corners. And now I'm going to just show you how to finish off this piece. And I'm just going to continue sewing to the end, and I'm going to move it all the way to past my starting point. If you do hear my dog, it's because she's looking for me. She's grumbling, you can hear that. Brandy, can we stop that? In a little while, Brandy. Brandy's a 7-year-old, sorry, a 6.5-year-old cocker. She's quite a baby. Alright, so now I'll just trim this off. And I'm going to cut this here, roughly. More is good. And I'm going to cut it slanting. There you go. And what we're going to do is, this is the fun part, you flip it all over, and you will realize that you have very nice corners. So how do I fix the corners right? I'll just make sure that I have this pointy needle, and I'm just going to tidy it up this way. There you go. And I have another corner here to take care of, and I'm just going to get the 45 degree angle. One more corner. This one is a natural on its own, and there's the last corner here, 45 degrees. So now I'll turn it back, and we're going to now do the other side. Let's not use the areas where we have the joinings. I'm just going to start at a nice little corner here. Again, 45 degrees here and 90 degrees here, and there you go. It's almost there. There you go, Brandy. Brandy's barking again. And I'm just going to hide my knot, hold that in place. And I'm going to now do a slightly different stitch. Just tiny stitches now to hide. So I'm going to go in there, hide the stitch inside, come out. Go back to the same spot below, hide the stitch inside. You see, you don't see any stitches there. Alright, and stitch it out. Again, I'm going to stitch below. There you go, hide it inside. It's hiding inside. And I'm going to bring it up tiny bit, and I'm just going to go all the way to the end. So you actually don't really see the stitches at all, because I'm actually picking a little bit from the bottom, hiding the stitch below and pulling it up. And here we just do a nice little tuck in. This isn't the actual way of doing a quilt joining. If you attend our classes, we will teach you. Of course, it's much easier if we see you in person, but at least it's something that we can still get by during this time. And then again, this one refuses to hide, so I'll just push it in, hold it tight, and there you go. Voila, done. Okay, so this one is I will take the upper piece, and you can actually hide it inside. And then one more time. And one more time. So you actually don't see anything on the other side at all, because I've hidden all my stitches between the batting and the materials. Okay, I'm going to do one more corner for you to see. So it's easier. And then you see nice little 90 degrees here, sorry, 45 degrees, and 45 degrees here, and fold in the 45 degrees. I'm reaching the corners, so I have to get ready all the 45 degrees to get a nice sharp end. And then you pick up the corner here of the 45 degrees, and you would want to do an extra stitch just to secure it in place. And then you move on. There you go. Okay, so now what we have done is we've actually basically completed our project. And as you can see, the stitches have all been nicely tucked in. We can't really quite see the stitches, and if you're a newbie and you actually see the stitches, it's alright as long as you do get the final product out. So what we should now do is face side up, and let's now pick on the little tackings that we have all done, and we try to take out as much as we can. So like I said, this won't be the actual, this is just a very simplified quilting, because the actual quilting will need you to do some patterns and some stitchings all over here. And if you do decide to move on to a slightly bigger project when times are better, do let us know. Any project, anything that you have seen before and you feel like learning it or doing it for a loved one, let us know. This, I hope, is a good little start for you. So for those of you who do not have the batting and you are actually using old t-shirts, here you have 6 layers, the 4 layers of t-shirts here, materials, your backing, and your actual patchwork patched pieces here. So what I've done is, I like this way because what I've done is I've actually just tidied up. This is really great if you are someone who do not have the binding with you at all at this moment, and you just basically pick out just the threads, and it gives you that very nice little frilly ends to it. And it's really also quite fun to just be picking this out, and you can use a unpicker or a needle to do it. And there you go. And of course you need to tidy up the sides, the corners, just give it a snip. All right, Of course, this can't be perfect. You find this really so untidy here, and the only reason is because we have the tacking there. And if I were to remove the tacking, let's see how it goes. You actually still have a very pretty pot mat that you can use. We can now have a look at our pot mat. You can decide to remove more, but it just I think these two are very pretty. These are the pot mats that we have finally completed for this week, and I really hope that you will visit us again